guys? I'm here with Jerome today, and he's been talking about he wants to start his own HVAC business. I know they do really well. Like those are recession proof. But to get into it, where are you from? And
I'm from Denver, Colorado, Park Hill. Born here, raised until 93, 94. Moved to Virginia. Mom and pops were in the military, stationed at Fort Lee, Virginia. So I pretty much was raised in Petersburg, Virginia. But I'm from Park Hill.
What certain challenges did you have to face when growing up in Park Hill?
I mean, I really didn't have to face any kind of challenges or anything like that. The only challenges growing up over there at Park Hill, the only challenges I had really growing up as a kid was, going to Smiley Middle School. My grandma used to walk me over there and stuff, and some days she couldn't help me walk over there because she was either busy or tired. Then I would walk through the alley with my homeboys and stuff. We would just get chased by dogs and stuff, but that was the only challenges really I had about Park Hill. Park Hill's a good neighborhood, besides all the extra stuff they got to do going on. I stay out of it. I stay in my own lane, but really there's nothing really about Park Hill that's really actually dangerous. It's a good neighborhood for people. They got some good people that come from there too, like Chauncey Billups and a couple more cats.
My mom is from Park Hill, and I know she's faced some challenges, but my dad's from Montbello, and I know they both kind of face gang situations. I know it's a known gang area, but it doesn't matter where you're from. No matter where you're from or where you're at, I don't care where you're from, man. You create your destiny. You create where you want to be in life. But I just wanted to get that out, just say that. But
Oh yeah, I mean, I didn't mean to interrupt you or anything. There's a lot of gangs and stuff like that out there, especially in Park Hill, Park Hill Crenshaw Mafia. My family's Crenshaw Mafia, but I don't do that stuff. I'm pro-black. I'd rather work, take care of my son, and help out my family as much as I can. So you do have a choice to either get into the gang life or not choose to get into it. It's really, ultimately, it's your decision. So don't let nobody force you to jump into the gangs and stuff like that, because really at the end of the day, it's not worth it. Y'all might be friends, here and there and stuff like that, but when stuff hits the fan, who's really down for you? Who really got your back? So, that's always the thing to remember too. They're not always going to be there for you. So take that in.
And I would say, be your own man, be your own leader. You don't got to follow the crowd and follow what everybody else is doing. Be your own man and be who you are. Stay true to you. But so getting on to the second question, what would you do, or what would you tell this younger generation to start doing right now instead of waiting later on in the future?
I would say for the younger generation to start getting in the workforce now and start saving. I would say save 10% of whatever you make. Put it into a savings or even put it into a CD account. I would say just start working and save as much money as you can. Make sure that your goals are realistic. And instead of having multiple goals, just have one goal set, and then you can move on to your next goal. But as far as that, I would say, man, start saving, motivate yourself, stay locked in. What else, man? Avoid the going out, hanging out with the fellas. Sometimes, it's cool to hang out with the fellas all the time, but it just depends on who you surround yourself with. So if you surround yourself with people that are actually doing stuff with themselves, like hey man, I got the inspiration to start a business and stuff like that, be a part of that crowd. Don't be a part of the crowd that's wants to hang out and drink and smoke all day. That's cool and everything, but first start focusing on your work and on your goal and on your career, and start putting money away, man, as soon as possible. When you get that first check, always pay yourself. My mama told me when I first started working, is pay yourself. So you take $100 out of your paycheck, you put that to your savings, and the rest you just go ahead and do whatever you need to do with it. But make sure at every paycheck you pay yourself. That's the number one rule that's pretty much to everything. You pay yourself no matter what you do. So even if you did make $10, take that 5 out of that 10 and pay yourself, and put that 5 up in your savings.
Yeah.
And let it grow, man.
And I heard you talk about a CD, and I know if y'all don't know what a CD is basically you put your money into a CD. It's basically like an account, basically. Let's just say that, and it has interest over it, right? So it's growing. You put your money in there, and it's just growing over time through interest. So, but you have to wait at a certain time to pay. Like you have to leave it in there for a year, 5 years, 10 years, depending on what your situation is and what you want to do. But another way that you can do that is you can have a high yield savings account. So you put your money in a high yield savings account that has interest, and that is, you can build your emergency fund through that way, and it's more liquid. It's, you have quicker access to it, depending on which bank that you go to. But it'll outweigh inflation because your money sitting in a regular bank account is losing value over time, due to inflation. But having the more money that you put into your high yield savings, the more money that you'll get back. But I just wanted to say that, teach.
Oh yeah. One more thing too. Start. I would say too, for the younger youth, like take that 10% or take that $100, that $5, and start putting it into your retirement account. Start building up your retirement account while you're still at your age. Because when you're like me, you're 40, and you now starting to put money into your IRA, then it's like kind of like halfway defeating the purpose. But it's never too late to start. So it's never too late to start anything. So I suggest go ahead, man, and start your retirement fund right now as soon as possible. Take that extra money that you got, even if it's just $2, put it into your IRA, and that'll definitely help you out in the long run. And just keep putting that 10% in there. Let that 10% sit in there.
So how long did it take you to get your certification for the HVAC?
Well, I just got my certification yesterday morning. So I thank you, man. I appreciate that. Thank you, man. It's really one of my goals that I've set and I accomplished. That's one of the many goals. That's what I was talking about. I have multiple goals, but this was one of the main goals that I wanted to do. But getting back to that point, it took me about like a good month, maybe a couple of weeks, because, shout out to Home Depot. It's a free program. It's called Path to Pro. So if you go to the Home Depot website, you click on their search bar, look for the Path to Pro program. And they have plenty of trades right there for you to do. And for the younger generation too, I say keep a trade on the side, because a trade is an actual, it's a recession-proof job. So, I chose HVAC. One of my goals is trying to start my own HVAC company when I get into the field. I just got my license, so I'm just just starting it out. But it didn't take me that long to get it, and it was just easy. So if you got, like, I say take an hour, because the classes is not that long, and really that's just maybe like 5 to 9, maybe 10, 15, 20-minute videos. That's like 9, maybe 10 videos you gotta watch, and you pay attention to it, you study it. I got like 10 pages of notes that I have on HVAC, the terms, the parts, the different parts of the thermometers, the different AC units, the different heating units that they have in there. And hopefully those notes will definitely take me far into the field, because all I need is the actual experience. But yeah, check out Home Depot Path to Pro. I seen it on an Instagram reel, and I was like, this ain't possible, because like you're gonna have to pay for it. And I was like, well, I had to look at it. Do I have to pay for it? No, you don't have to pay for it. It's a free class, man. They got all the trades. They got electrician. They have carpenter. They got drywalling. They have construction. They got property management. I don't know how all those other courses, they may take a little bit longer, but I'm definitely going next. I'm trying to get my certification and to be an electrician, because my uncle, he was an electrician. So I want to have that underneath my belt too, because if I'm doing HVAC, I'm messing with electrical stuff. So it's best to just have that other trade that's right underneath me, just in case something does, go wrong or go array and stuff like that.
Yeah, and you'll have the skills and the knowledge to do it. So that's good that you're determined and dedicated to learn the terminology, and invest into your knowledge, that they don't teach in college, and I think you'll be prepared. You know, I know you got the knowledge. You said you've been learning the terms and everything like that. So now from here, it's just experiencing, and through time, you're gonna get it. You're gonna get the hang of it. You know, I think with anything in life. So.
Yeah, because they was telling me, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you, but they saying that I know most people, they're making like $30 to $45 doing that, you know, and that, you know, I like the closest I've ever made was like 24. So I'm trying to get to that realm where it's like 30, 40, maybe $50 an hour, and that's a trade right there I can definitely look forward to, because I'm only doing it for my son, you know. And I just want to, you know, like before I like, if I do go or when I go, I want to have something like he could, like a company for him to run, or he can learn, he can, take over while I'm gone, and it can be his. So, I'm thinking about the long game. Everybody thinks about the short game. I play long range. I'm long range, baby. I like it long range. Like I like to think ahead. So, and that right there with me getting my HVAC certification is definitely one step in the journey that I have moving forward into me building my own company.
That's good. And to go along with that, with my next question. So, I want to say, my next question is like, what made you want to start investing, building credit, start this specific business?
It ain't hard to tell, man. I'm 40 already, I ain't trying to be broke at the age of 50. So, you can't get anything without good credit. That's the fact. And, I don't care how much money you got. You can have buku bread, but without credit, you pretty much, you're an average John. You're an average Joe on the streets. So what really made me want to get into my credit, to get my credit back on track, is because, man, I was 38, 39 at my grandma's house and stuff, because I had to take care of her when COVID started and stuff, after I moved out of my apartment with my son's mom. And I've been staying at my grandma's house taking care of her and stuff. And then, one day I was like, man, let me check my credit score, man. Let me see what I got, man. I'm about to be 40. I got to get up out of here, man. It's time for me to live my life, man. I can't be a grown man, sleeping in my grandma's basement. So I went ahead, I checked it out. I said, man, I was at 540 something. I went ahead, I hooked up with the Chime. I did that Chime, the Chime credit, the credit app. They gave me a card, and I just put everything on that card, all my bills. And then within the next 3 months, I went from like a 542 to a 630. And then when I went to that 630, I saved up 2 of my paychecks from my job that I had, and I went and got me an apartment right around yonder over here. And since I've been back on my own and stuff, this is my 3rd apartment I had, but this is the only one that I had by myself. So I see that my son's mom, she has an 800 credit score. And like back when we was together, man, my credit score was a lot higher than hers. But now I see it, we had a conversation the other day about it. Hers is at 800. So her mom was telling me, hey, Jerome, this is what you need to do to get it like that. So I said, fine, cool. She dropped some jewels on me. Cool, I'm about to start doing it like that too. So now I'm going through Kickoff. I got the Chime credit builder, and then I'm about to do Credit Strong, So those 3 things right there help boost my credit up within the next I would say within the next 6 months. Because I'm at a 640 something right now, I want to be at least at a 720 in the next 6 months to a year. 720. With a 720, I can get a lot of stuff with 720.
And, credit is something very powerful. Like, if you really know how to leverage money and use other people's money, preferably the bank's money, you could really build a lot of wealth off of that. But that's a whole nother topic. If you learn the ins and outs of this credit game, and like you said, you put it on your bills. So that's like a 2-in-1, a 2-in-1 accomplishment. You know what I'm saying?
Definitely.
And I just like that you're progressing and growing.
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you. But yeah, like I was saying, man, like hanging around you, man, motivated me too to get back to where I need to be, because I was hanging out with cats, be like, oh, let's go out, let's have a beer and shit like that and stuff. Oh, I'm sorry, let's go back and have a beer and stuff. And I'm like, yeah, cool, then sometimes I felt like I was out of place, because I knew I had stuff to do. So once I started working with him, with E, and it was was telling me about investing and stuff, and that's another reason why I got into investing. And checked out my 401k, and turned out that my 401k rolled over to my IRA. So now I'm starting to put money more into my IRA, and then I want to definitely go ahead and switch my IRA into a Roth IRA. So, but I want to thank you for helping me out, man. Thank you for the motivation and stuff like that.
Facts, man. I'm here for anybody. No matter where you're from, who you are, what race you are, I'm here for anybody. What sacrifices did you have to make in order to chase your goals?
I mean, well, I make sacrifices every day when I wake up, man. Waking up, that's a sacrifice right there. Like the OG told me, man. He's like, as long as I put 2 feet on the ground when I wake up in the morning, I got him. I screwed him over. I won another battle. But I gotta sacrifice things too, because even though I have my child, I have my son, which he lives with his mother and stuff, and I have to make the sacrifice of, okay, I know I need a certain amount of food. I would like to eat this, but then again, I have to think about it, like, well, what does my son have? What does he need first? So then I put my son's needs before my needs, and to me, that's like one of the biggest sacrifices that I'm making, to make sure that he's straight and he's ready for the world and stuff like that, because a mother will coddle the child, but a father is going to get him ready for the world. So I used to tell my son's mom, like, hey man, if I'm not hard on him now, when he steps outside that door, the world's going to be even tougher on him. So it's like, another sacrifice I make is making sure that he's straight and I'm not. But this sacrifice that I'm about to make now is, I might have to, lay low, play deadbeat for a minute just to get back on my feet, with this company, and try to start this company. And at the end of the day, it's probably going to take me about like a few months, maybe 2-3 months to get back on my feet. But by then it's all good. But right now, his mom don't call me. She don't call me talking about, hey, he needs this. Hey, if she don't call, I know he's straight. So until they call me and say like, hey dad, I need this, then hey, I gotta worry about it. But until then, like, I make the sacrifice of my sleeping habits. I sacrifice to get to where I'm at now with this HVAC stuff. Another thing is too, like, my mental focus too, because I was so unfocused, and I would get home straight off from work. I would just go lay straight down because I'm so tired, because I worked so many hours. So I sacrifice sleep. I sacrifice time with my family, just to get this HVAC stuff going on, man. And with the sacrifices that I'm making, eventually it'll pay off. So, here today, gone tomorrow. So you gotta live in the moment, live for today. You can't be worried about the past. Just look towards for the future and just live today.
Slow progress is better than no progress. So
yes, sir.
You
yes,
gotta
sir.
step back, and in order to take 10 steps forward, man, that's totally okay, and I think anybody should understand that too, But if you could go back in time, what would you do differently?
Man, well, I had this talk with my son the other day too, and I used to say I wouldn't change anything, man. I wouldn't change anything. But now that I'm starting to, be more mature than what I was yesterday and the week before and the past 2 months, I would probably go back and change my mind state and how I was in high school. Because in high school, everybody was getting ready and getting geared up for, for the world after high school. Me, I was out there hanging with the homies, we was smoking, we was drinking and stuff, we was chasing the women and stuff. So I would change that. I would say I would be more focusing on my studies. And actually too, I haven't told you that, I'm actually a heavy machine operator too. So this is my second trade that I have. So I'm trying to work on getting three trades, but I would focus more on my heavy machine operating trade, and just smarten up, man. Just like getting into sports. One thing I also would change was I probably would have went to the military, and that's one thing I do regret. And if I could go back, I would change that. I would definitely change that, but I wouldn't change meeting my son's mom and having him. Then that way they would have a lot better life than what we have now. But I would change, my high school ways and be going to the military. That's the things I would change.
And my final question: what's the biggest financial lesson you learned throughout the years?
The biggest financial lesson that I've learned, hey, I'm gonna keep it real with you, man. Just because you got it in your pocket, that don't mean spend it. I mean, that's real talk, yo. Hey, man, I got a hole in my pocket right now. I ain't gonna lie to you, man. Like, I see it, I want it, I'm gonna get it, you know. But that having that mind state and having that attitude kind of got me to where I'm at now. So now, throughout the years, I'm learning, man, you know, like we said, like my man E was saying earlier, man, credit is everything. So like this year I'm learning on how to build my credit, how to put more money into my IRA, more worrying about the future, and just change my money habits, and also learning where my money is going to. Like, because that's another thing too, because I see it like, oh man, like, I'll go to Chipotle right now, and then after I go to Chipotle, I'll go to Noodles and Company. I'll give me a whole bunch of food and just go home and pig out, and then I'll be like, all right, let me go get a beer or something. And then next thing you know, like, man, I know I had 20 on me and stuff, but it's gone. So, you know, like, just try to make sure that, you know, I have better money management skills. That's one thing I've learned on my journey this year is money management, because my son's mom and my mom would tell me, Jerome, you just got paid last week, what happened to your money? And I'm like, well, new game came out, new shoes came out, you know, and this was all before my son was born, but, you know, I don't have that, I still have it a little bit, but I don't have that bad, it's not as bad as it was before. But yeah, my money management skills is like, well, this is like garbage right now. So, but it's starting. It's a lot better than what it was 3-4 months ago. So,
but yeah, and I think you know, tagging along to what you're saying, I think money management is a very important skill people should have. Like, having an account for your fuck off money, like your worries and your wants. You know, separating your checks. You know, for your wants, your savings, your investing, and your needs and necessities. So like your bills and utilities and all that, and then having putting a portion of your money into investing, setting aside some money to invest into index funds or commodities or something like that. Setting aside an emergency fund, you know, savings, and fuck off money. Yeah, just organizing, checking what's coming in and out of your paychecks or your money, your bank accounts or whatever, you know. Checking what subscriptions you have, what you spent your money on, checking all your bank accounts every day. I got multiple different bank accounts, but I have them for a purpose. I have this bank account solely for credit, for building credit and doing this and that. I have this is for my needs and necessities, and this and that, you know. And I know I can tell you off the top of my mind when my statement closing dates are and when my due dates are, and how much money I have in every single account, you know, off the top of my dome. So you got checking your bank account and just having that, you know, money management skill.
I want to add another thing too, like for the young people that's starting to come up and they want to check their credit score every day. It's not bad. It's not going to hurt your credit score to check it every day. Actually, it's a good thing, you know, because I got Credit Karma and they actually give you like 1 to 2 points if you check your credit every day. So they put that point towards your credit. So actually that's a good thing to check your credit every day, you know. And Credit Karma, they'll tell you a lot of stuff. So I say get down with Credit Karma, get down with Chime, and you know, just start focusing on your goals. You know, I'm tell you, like Sugar Free told me, man, you can't have a heart, especially when it comes to women, man. You know, that's an organ you do not need. Sugar Free taught me that, man. You just got to stay on top of your business, man. Don't have a heart, man. The only heart you need to have is for your family, for your immediate family, and for your bank account, for your money. But you can't have it for nothing else, man. You can't. That's an organ you do not need, man.
Just thinking with your emotions, man, that'll put you in a bad situation. Thinking with your dick will put you in a bad situation, man. You gotta think logically, though. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Because as soon as you start thinking with your emotions, they don't see how intelligent you are. You know, they think you're quick to go get mad and stuff like that. You know, I'm in that situation with my child's mom. You know, I blew up the other day. I wasn't thinking with my intelligence. I was thinking with my emotions. And now they probably thinking, oh yeah, this nigga, he a sucker and stuff. But you know, I try not to have a heart. You know, because that's one thing I don't need. It's Sugar Free. You know, think about it. But you know, just got to make sure, man, you stay focused and lock in, pretty much.
Well, man, I appreciate you for doing this.
Hey,
interview.
man, no problem, man. Have me through, man. I'm do it whenever, yo. Like, I don't do nothing. I just chill, go home. I'm about to work. About to start on my electrician journey and fill out some applications for this HVAC so I can start getting this company set off, man. Because like next year, it's the goal. The goal is to move to Dallas. See if I get my company jumping off in Dallas. If not Dallas, then Arizona. Wherever it's hot at, they're going to need HVAC people there. They're going to need electricians there. I told my son, too, because he wants to go to Baylor University. I said, hey, man, after high school, I was like, cool, make sure if you can get you an academic scholarship or you get you a sports scholarship, I don't mind. If I have to come out of pocket, me and your mom will definitely help you out. But if that college stuff don't work out, then you got to have you a backup. Are you going to go to the military or are you going to get you a trade? So he thought about it. He's like, Dad, they got classes at school now, because he lives out there in Texas. I ain't gonna tell you the school he goes to, but he's starting to work on auto body repair, be a mechanic. That's another good trade because people need mechanics. And mechanics make good money. It's hard work, but when your car breaks down, you know how to work on it. So you don't need to take it to nobody else. That's another thing.
It's a way to save some money.
Another way to save some money, man.
I've been learning like a lot about finance and all that, right? So I'd say if you want to start investing, if you want to like help him pay his college tuition and everything like that, there's a thing called 529 plan, which is basically you can kind of just set money aside for him and put it in that plan, and it'll appreciate over time, and then it'll go toward. But it's strictly for like college, trade schools, things like in that space,
Well,
so
yeah.
you can do that. It'll help out a little bit, and you can write it off on your taxes too.
Yeah. Send me the info in the text, and I'll definitely go ahead and I'll look that up, and I think that'll be a good thing, for him to have to fall back on, because I'm not trying to be stuck like Chuck, but thank you for having me, man. I really do appreciate the time, man. No problem, man. Yeah, no problem, man.